What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I'd like to thank everybody that came to the Friday night live stream we did last night. Had us a good conversation amongst ourselves and had some fun along the way. Thank you again for supporting me. But last night, somebody asked me an interesting question that they left in the comment section, and I'm going to say this real quick to my viewers and those that leave comments. Words cannot express my appreciation for you guys. With the comments that you guys send or the questions that you ask in the comment section, a lot of times it really gets me to think, and it helps with the creativity with videos and bringing up topics that a lot of people have questions too. With that being said, somebody asked me last night, and I forgot your name, shout yourself out, I briefly seen it. They asked me, they said, I wrote it over here, it said, will Emmanuel Haro's parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, actually go to trial? I want to answer that question for you guys, but I want you to see this video first, and then I'll come back and answer that question.
The parents accused of murdering baby Emmanuel Haro appeared in court today. Both pleaded not guilty to murder charges as the search for the missing 7-month-old's body continues. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon live outside the Riverside County Courthouse with details on those parents' arraignment tonight. Rachel?
Colonel Emmanuel Haro's parents were at this courthouse earlier this morning, along with their court-appointed attorneys. I can tell you, though, the arraignment itself was very brief. Well, it's been several long weeks for those investigators here and in San Bernardino County. We know because they've been saying from the beginning they believe the baby, unfortunately, they believe is dead, and they also believe that initial report of kidnapping was false. 3 weeks after Emmanuel Haro's parents told police their son had been kidnapped in a parking lot in Yucaipa.
Calling the case of Jake Haro and Rebecca Haro.
Both parents found themselves in the courtroom on Thursday, facing murder charges. The father, Jake Haro, could be heard speaking briefly at the arraignment hearing, which lasted only about 10 minutes.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor. Allison Lowe, also on behalf of Mr. Haro.
Good morning, Ann. Good morning, Mr. Haro. Good morning, Your Honor.
The Haros initially reported their son had been kidnapped on August 14th, but San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department says detectives found inconsistencies in Rebecca Haro's story.
And that's all I remember. I woke up on this floor, panicking for my son because I couldn't find him.
Fox 11 has learned Jake was on probation for a prior child abuse conviction at the time of his son's disappearance. Investigators believe Emmanuel died as early as August 5th, the last day detectives could confirm he was alive.
She has been advised of her legal and constitutional rights. I would ask that not guilty pleas be entered.
Back in the courthouse, both Jake and Rebecca Haro pleaded not guilty to murder charges. While Emmanuel's father could be seen and heard leaving the courtroom, there is still no sign of baby Emmanuel as the search for the infant's body continues. And you may be wondering what the next step is here in this case. Well, there are several hearings scheduled for the Haros in mid-September, so about a week and a half or so. And during one of those hearings, we're expecting the judge to discuss with the defendants their readiness for trial and what to expect if a plea deal is reached. Live in Riverside, Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
All right, guys, that's all the stuff that they talked about them being in court. It was a 10-minute session. They've been appointed public defenders. Nothing really changed. That was their arraignment hearing. They got another one coming up in 1.5 weeks. Now, back to that question. When that person asked me that question, I thought to myself, I said, that's a really good question. And it's an obvious answer. Yes, they're going to have to proceed to trial. What other choice do they have to keep this lie going? And it is a lie. Let's get that, out in the open. These people are riding a lie. And they're going to ride it all the way to the end if they can. I honestly believe that the only thing that would change this situation is if the body of this little boy, Emmanuel Haro, is found. And I want you to think about this. You've been caught in a lie multiple times. The whole world knows it. And all you're doing is sitting in a cell, keeping your mouth closed while your child wastes away out there somewhere. How sick is that? But then again, these are sick individuals, namely Jake, the father, because he has a history of hurting children, his own children. If you really paid attention, and this is one of the reasons why I said I was going to back off of reporting on this unless some valid information comes out through the media, is because the rumors are swirling with this. We all know this. They've been said all kind of stuff. A lot of small time people on Instagram have made up all these different lies and talking about the baby's head was found in the fire and all this other stuff. And you know, a lot of controversy has came out of people just covering this case. These people have not said anything that's concrete to police where they came out their mouth and said, okay, we know which one killed this child. So they're both held right now with the same charges, basically murder. Only thing like I said would change is if this child is found. And then, you know, maybe, you understand what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. One of the things that can be your enemy or your friend in jail when you're fighting a case is what? Those that have been locked up. We all know this. Time. These people have nothing but time because they're locked up. They're not going nowhere. And as long as they keep their mouth shut and stick with the same story, they think they got a shot at getting out of this, which I don't believe. That's on the defense side. On the side of the prosecution, well, we got them. They ain't going nowhere. And they'll just sit there. Maybe they'll get tired, and one of them will have a breaking point and confess something. They took Jake out into that field, got nothing out of it. There's been rumors that Jake has been talking to a secret inmate days after he got in jail, which I don't believe. He told the inmate that he just met, he threw the baby in the trash. And no. Then another thing is, I buried him somewhere where I could go back and mourn silently for him. That shit don't even make sense and shouldn't even made the internet. This is a dead child here, a human being, at the hands of his parents. We don't know which one. For all we know, like I said in another video, she could have been the one that did it. And he keeps his mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? And they defend each other because they might have dirt on each other. We don't know. But I do know this is a sick crime. And if they really wanted to get the answers out of them, they could. But it's all these different statutes and stuff that protect criminals from saying anything when time is of the essence or was of the essence for a child that didn't ask to be here. Third thing is this. The deal admits guilt. So they're not going to take no deal. And trust me, I've been in a situation where you've come with deals and they tell you about how bad it is, what you're doing. And the justice system is set up to where you in jail sometimes, your mind can race because your life is flipped from you sitting in incarceration and realizing you don't have your freedoms no more. It's a psychological game. And I think Jake's ready to play that. And I think Rebecca is too. They can't look no worse than they are looking right now. We saw the elaborate lies, the stupid stuff. He said hola and all of that type of stuff. I fell out on this ground here. Who says that? I fell out on this ground here. And I woke up. I looked for my child. You were knocked out and you just immediately woke up and could recollect everything that happened to you. The mollywoppage from some stranger. How long was you knocked out? That's another thing. People don't get knocked out and just wake up in like a second and get up and have their bearings. Either way, this is hard. These people are riding a lie, ladies and gentlemen, and they're going to ride it as far as they can. You know, the police have their own idea. They know more than us. We have our own idea from looking at them, and they're not too bright in the stupidness with the lies. and then there's the truth, which we probably might not ever know. These people, for all we know, can go in there, go to court, trial, get found guilty, and we'll never know what happened to baby Emmanuel. And that's the sick part. As parents, you can't even give this child enough respect to at least admit guilt, no matter how bad you look, and at least give some peace to his name. And that's the part that's sickening to me. And that's why I'd show him the flowers. Even if Rebecca didn't do it, she would go, because you rode the wave of a lie that a savage that you married made, if that's the case. What kind of woman doesn't protect a child and then realizes a child, something was done to a child, and won't open her mouth? Even though the authorities came to you and said, hey, we don't think you did this. Tell us what we need to know. Loyalty over the love of your own child, and dick over your own damn kid. Disgusting. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. As of now, the only option they do have is trial. They riding this wave until it breaks apart. This lie. See you in the next video. Take care.